there and welcome to the DAZN Soccer Show. We're going to talk all things WSL now. Leanne Sanderson is with us, former Arsenal forward. And look, already 2 weeks into the WSL and things are starting to shape up nicely. This weekend we had the Merseyside derby, we had the North London derby, Man City in action against Chelsea as well at the King's Meadow. So much things going on. And Leanne Sanderson, she must have been in a helicopter because she seemed like she was at every single game in the WSL. And Leanne, let's start with the North London derby first. Arsenal thumping Spurs 4-0. You were there for Arsenal working on that game. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a fantastic occasion. They sold 53,000 tickets and they were paid for. And I say that because obviously in the women's game at times, when I played for Juventus, played at the Allianz Stadium, 45,000 people came, but we gave away the tickets. Now, I feel like what was so great about this game is that people actually paid for them and come. They weren't given away for £1 or, you buy a child ticket, you get an adult free and that type of stuff. Everybody paid for it. And the occasion was absolutely brilliant. And I think, piggybacking off of the Euros with the England women's team winning it, the Lionesses, I think that's been a major catalyst. But I also think we have brought in attendances in recent years, but it seems to be a one-off. Now, I think this is going to have longevity now. And I always used to say this. We used to play at Wembley. Sometimes we play at Wembley in front of 60, 70,000 people. And then I'd go to Boreham Wood on a Sunday, play for Arsenal, and there'd be 300 people there. And I used to think, where's everybody gone? And it was really cheap to come to our games. So, whereas I think now people are able to visibly see their idols, look up to them. When I played, it wasn't even that long ago. I only retired 2 years ago, and there was only really one game on a year, and that was the FA Cup final. So that goes to show you where the game has gone. In the last year, a lot of these players have been plucked from complete obscurity. And honestly, it was such a great occasion on Saturday. It's such a nice feeling when you go to a women's game and there's no trouble and there's no nastiness and there's like just a real family atmosphere. That's why I think people love it. And for me, even still now, to see a grown man with a Beth Mead shirt on just makes me so happy, because I feel like we never used to see that back in the day. You just see little girls and that type of stuff, which is great. But to see men now being, okay with wearing a women's shirt, like with the name on the back, walking down the street, this is amazing.
Yeah, and I remember a couple of weeks ago, me and you sat down and we was talking about the importance of Arsenal keeping VIVIANNE MIEDEMA. She scored 2 goals on the weekend. People saying she's on a bit of a drought. I think she proved how good and how important she is for Arsenal, not just in the WSL, but in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously that was her first 2 goals of the season. A lot of people were talking about she was in a drought. But the thing with Miedema is that she's not only a good goal scorer, she's a good teammate, she's a good leader. She attracts so many defenders to go with her that it creates space for everybody else. She's my favourite player to watch in the league. I absolutely love her. I think she's, for me, the best centre forward, one of the best centre forwards in the world. I've said this many, many times. And I think, she's fantastic. So it's great that she got her 2 goals at the weekend as well, get her off the mark, because the fact they were able to keep hold of her, I think a lot of people thought she was going to go to Lyon or a team like that. So I'm just glad that she stayed in the WSL. And I think that's where the WSL is at now, where people are not wanting to leave. I think when I first moved to America 12 years ago, 10 of us went over to play fully pro in the league in America then, the women's professional soccer league. So now everybody kind of wants to come to England and stay here. And I think that's an amazing thing because we want the best talent to want to be here. And Miedema's a fantastic player.
Yeah, you mentioned the big attendance at the Emirates, the Merseyside derby, another big attendance. And I'm so happy that the girls got to play at Anfield as well, because I think that's important going forward. 28,000 at Anfield. Liverpool had a good result against Chelsea last time out, not a good result against Everton. A lot of people have picked Everton. If anyone's going to gate cash that top 4, Everton could be the team. How impressed you are with Everton's start to the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, what people have to understand is that when you say if someone supports a men's team, because obviously some people have been supportive of the men's team for a long time, it doesn't always mean the women's team is going to be the same thing. So like the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham, there's still a big gap between those 2 teams. Both teams have got a lot of heart, but there's always going to be, Arsenal will always win that game pretty comfortably, in my opinion, unless there's a big shock. So I just feel like that's changing in the WSL now, where teams are able to come and play, and I think the fans play a major part in that as well.
A big game as well at the King's Meadow. You were there for that one. I don't know how you got there as well, but you were there for that one. Big game between maybe 2 of the favourites as well in the WSL. Not a great start for Gareth Taylor so far this season. Chelsea winning that game 2-0. What have you made of Chelsea's start, and what have you made of Man City's start to the season?
I think as well, you touched on it in the last question. I didn't actually answer, but the likes of Everton as well, can they beat into that top 4? I still think it's going to be difficult because of the budgets. The other teams have got so much more money. But you look at the likes of Manchester City yesterday, Chelsea. I think Chelsea obviously losing in that first game against Liverpool. Nobody expected that. nobody really expected Aston Villa to beat Manchester City last week, and they did. And we spoke about that on the show. I said, if anyone had a bet on those two games, you'd be rolling in the money because no one ever saw that one coming. Yesterday, I expected Chelsea to win that game. But, you know, I think we have to critique the women's game the same as we would the men's game. Now, Gareth Taylor, I'm not sitting here saying, you know, he should be sacked or anything like that. I'm not one of those people that's going to do that. But if you look at it, there's been a mass exodus of players that have left this summer. It's been happening for the last 2 or 3 years. And you look at their squad, and they still have good players. They have Steph Horton, they still have Alex Greenwood, Demi Stokes, those types of players, but they don't really have, you know, top players. Ellen White's retired. Georgia Stanway's left. Caroline Weir's gone to Real Madrid. And these players have not necessarily gone to better teams. They've gone to a place to test themselves, which I understand. But to me, there seems like there's bigger problems at Manchester City than we all know about, because players are not leaving Chelsea, are they? Or Arsenal. They're staying. You know, they come in, they're staying. You don't see this mass exodus of players leaving. So for someone like Gareth Taylor, yesterday, I actually thought Man City played well in the first half. I thought they should have had a free kick. Debatable whether it was a penalty or not because of where it's in the area or not. But I thought they relatively played well, Man City, yesterday. But Chelsea didn't even play their best performance. Emma Hayes even said that. And they still won 2-0. So, and City are already out of the Champions League. So I think it's going to be difficult this year for City. I think it's going to be between Arsenal and Chelsea. And I know there's only 2 games in, but I do. And it was last year. But Manchester City should be doing far better than they have been.
I guess Man City fans will be nervous about Man United's start to the season as well, right? Man United, one of those teams that could close that gap. Very, very close to City last season. They won 2-0 against West Ham. Man United has started well.
Yeah, 2 wins in 2. Mark Skinner's done a really good job there since he's gone in there and taken over from Casey Stoney. And, you know, I think people have to also understand Man United are only in their 4th year of existence, having a women's team. You know, and I think they've done a really good job. Casey Stoney did a really good job initially because they were looking to push. You know, there was a Christmas 2 years ago, they were top of the league. So, you know, and this is a team that was in its first year. So they've done a really good job. And I think it looks like Manchester United could finish above Manchester City. And this isn't based upon, you know, 2 games, because no one's getting carried away based upon that. I'm talking about the squad. I'm talking about the plan. You can see where Manchester United are going, and they've done brilliantly, and they've had a really good start to the season. And I think the fact that they've been able to sort out a lot of things happening behind the scenes when they first started, facilities and all those types of things, I think now they've finally got a plan in place, and Man United look brilliant.
Another brilliant weekend in the WSL, wasn't it? So many intriguing storylines. Arsenal's dominance continues, another 4-0 win, this time beating their North London rival Spurs. Their focus, though, has to shift now to the Champions League, where Arsenal haven't yet qualified for the group stages. Chelsea, they're there, though, once again. They will be competing on Europe's top table. Remember, you can watch all the Champions League action live right here and exclusive on DAZN.
This is unbelievable.
Let's go. Vamos! This could be the beginning of a brand new era. To be honest, it gives me goosebumps. Look at that attendance. Over 91,000 fans.
It's the best in European football.
Oh, wow! What a goal that is!
C'est Ada Egerberg qui vient éteindre.
Goal, 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 goal!
Cristiana Girelli. Bellissima.
Amandine Henry with a spectacular goal for Lyon.
Thanks for DAZN as well. You did amazingly this year.